Hey family, welcome back to my channel where I talk about relationship, marriage, and lifestyle. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you about a man called Noah and his ark that he built. Now, I know you would say, how does Noah and the ark story relate with relationship, marriage, or lifestyle? But just wait. Just listen to this story first, and at the end of the story, you will tell me if the story is related to relationship and marriage. So don't go anywhere. Just calm down and listen to my story. So a long time ago, the world was a mess, like a total mess. People became so cruel, like we are in today. Husbands killing wives, wives killing husbands, brothers using sisters for money rituals, sisters betraying their parents, people lying, stealing, they were just hurting themselves without remorse. Like, imagine everything cruel that we are experiencing in this world today. That was what was happening in those days long ago. So the earth was no longer peaceful for mankind. The earth was filled with people moving around with wicked hearts. There was no peace. Everywhere was thinking of wickedness. So God, in his wisdom, now said, look at this earth that I took 7 days of my time to create, putting everything in it beautiful. You know, after God created heaven and earth, he said it is beautiful. After he has invested his time, he has invested his energy, and see what his creatures were doing. He was not happy about it. It was not very good at all. Something he called very good once now turned into this sort of a thing. So he was not really happy. But in all this, there was one man called Noah. There was one man called Noah. In all this wickedness, in all this cruelty, he was Noah. He had faith that there's still good on the earth. So he was a good man, blameless. He was kind. He was obedient to God. While others were laughing at him, he kept on doing what God asked him to do. He just kept on being himself, being the nice person that he is and all that. He was a very good man. So he didn't choose the easy way out. He was consistent, being good. He didn't pretend at any point in time. He worked with God and God noticed him. So one day God spoke to him and said, Noah, my son, just come. This is my plan. I want to send a flood to wash away this earth. I want to cleanse this, in short, I want to cleanse the whole world. And I remember early this year, I actually did not really pray for a word for this year, but one day I stood up on my bed, I went to the restroom. So while I was in the restroom, I said, let me just read my Bible. I use an app. And this story was the story for the day. And after I finished reading the app, praying, so it just dropped in my spirit. And he said, if God could start all over again, who are you not to? And I was like, wow, yeah. God created the heavens and the earth 7 days. He used 7 days to create the heavens and the earth. And when he saw that it wasn't going the way he planned it, he started all over again. So who am I not to start all over again? So I just put it on my WhatsApp status. Like, if God, that was early this year, in January precisely, if God could start all over again, who am I not to start all over again? And I started getting messages like, wow, where did you get this from? I said, yes, if God could start over again. Imagine the story of Noah and the ark. God started all over again. And I don't know if he got it right, but he had the courage to start all over again. So God called him and said, guy, I need to cleanse this earth. This earth is no longer serving the purpose I created it for. So I'm going to send a flood to wash the earth, but I'm going to save your family. So Noah was like, how would you save my family? You're sending a flood. Is it that you're going to take me to heaven? How would you do this? And in my imagination, I knew God just said, guy, don't worry. You're going to build the ark. You're going to build me an ark, and you will be on that ark. You'll be in that ark with your family. Now, like, how will that work? Ark, what are not flood the ark and all that? Or would the ark be on dry land? Or is it that where the ark will be, you will not send flood? I can imagine all the questions that Noah had to ask when God told him that. But he didn't argue because he's a man of faith, just like Abraham. He said, okay, he's God. I've been faithful to him. I've been faithful and he has never failed me. I'm going to obey him. And he began to build the ark. He began to gather woods, sent his children to the bush, cut down every tree he could find. He began to saw the trees, trying to get the shape of I can imagine the work he put in to get that ark before the flood. You can imagine what he did. He tried. He tried because actually that ark was massive. If you have seen it in movies, it was really, really huge. It was about the length of 1.5 football field. Can you imagine? So it was also 3 stories tall from the description in the Bible, and the room was enough to fit a small zoo. If you have gone to a zoo before, you can know that the zoo is a big place where you have different kind of animals. So imagine that description. People were even mocking him, were like, no, what are you doing? Hey, who sent you this work? Did you understand what he was doing? But he was just kept deaf ears, blind eyes. He was just focused, building the ark, in the rain, under the rain, in the sun, he was building the ark. The people felt that this man, you are crazy. What are you building? But Noah kept building. He didn't see anything, day by day, nail by nail, decade after decade. It looked like it was not going to end. It looked like it would take 100 years, but Noah kept building. He kept building. He kept building. Then something amazing happened. Something amazing happened from every corner of the world. Jungles, the desert, the mountains and plains, animals began to appear. Hey, how did God talk to the animals too? Did they blow a trumpet or they blow a whistle or they were informed? Who gave them the memo? They began to appear 2 by 2. Hey, God, how did it happen? two by two, the elephants and the husband and the wife, female and male, female and male, they began to come. The lions, the monkeys, the snakes, the snail, butterflies, fly, ants, the most smallest insects you can imagine. They began to find their way from wherever, even if they were in Kafanchan, if you know where Kafanchan is, they began to find their way to the ark. Hey, how did that happen? How did that happen? So it was magical, like they were heading to Noah's Ark. I know people, his friends, neighbors, relations, like, what is this guy trying to build an animal farm? What is he doing? Noah did not send them. His ears were blocked. He kept building. He kept building. People will gather. It was like now like a site. They will come down, be watching what's happening. Stay staring. Noah did not look crazy. He was just doing what he did. That maybe like this. You feel that he's crazy, but he knew what he was doing. He never said anything. When he was done, him and his family entered the ark and shut the door. They entered the ark and shut the door. And there's people standing outside. It didn't even occur to them, what is this guy doing? Is there going to be an earthquake? Why is this guy shutting the door behind him with animals in it, only his family? If I were to be there, I would run into that ark. I don't know. I don't care what is going. I would run into that ark. They were looking at him. Then it began to rain, like we experienced 2 days ago in Lagos. It began to rain. Said, okay, let me not say rain. It started to drizzle. And they're like, maybe it's normal. It's rainy season, so it's normal. It began to drizzle. Before it then became heavy. It became heavy. It didn't stop for a day. Another day came. It also rained. Soon, the sky opened and it was like God was pouring water from heaven. There was rain, there was thunder, there was lightning. The heavens roared. Like the heaven was like, today is the day. You see people say this to hear word. Today, me and you, people will hear me. The heavens roared. The earth cracked open. Water gushed from above and below like it was flooded. It was like a tornado. Water from the north, south, east, and west. In just days, the entire earth was under water. The entire earth was flooded. Mountains vanished. Hills vanished. Cities disappeared. Houses, mansions disappeared. They were all swallowed by the water. And there was silence. But inside the ark, there was safety. There was peace. So I can imagine what was going on in Noah's head when he was inside the ark. I know inside his mind, he was like, hey, God, how are these people doing? He remembered his friends. He remembered his neighbors, his business partners. Because only him and God that knew this agenda, that had this information. So I know he'll be like, what's happening? He'll be worried because he's human. But God is God. The rain lasted for 40 days and 40 nights. But Noah and his family were in the ark. They were comfortable. They had peace. The flood did not even, there was no water in the ark. So water could not enter and they were safe. There was food for them. They fed, they cleaned their mess. It was like a normal house for them. They were living their normal life. So after the rain ended, he now sent the birds to go and see if there's dry land. At this point, let me just say this. If you have not subscribed to my channel, if you are not following me on my social media handles, please do well to subscribe because here there are lots of knowledge that you would learn from. Please click the subscribe button to get subscribed and to get notified each time I drop valuable lessons and stories like this. So let's go back to our story. So he sent the reverend to go and check if there was dry land, and it never returned. He realized that, okay, if there's dry land, that's why this bird did not come back. Then he sent a dove. It came back. No sign of land. Oh, okay. First of all, he sent the raven and he didn't return back to give him a feedback. Then he sent the dove. Maybe the raven, I don't know, probably he landed on the water and the water took him away. He then sent the dove and the dove came back, meaning there was no sign of land. There was still flood. Then 7 days later, he sent a dove again. This time it came back with a tiny olive leaf in his beak. Hope had returned. The land is dry. So they were happy. At least they will be able to come out of the ark. Finally, the day came, the door opened. Noah, his family, and all the animals stepped onto dry land. The world was new. The world was quiet, fresh, and clean. God had swept and washed the whole earth with water, with flood. Then God made a promise to Noah, and he said, never again will I destroy the earth by flood. And to seal that promise, God painted a rainbow in the sky. That's why you see the rainbow whenever it rains. It's just a reminder that God had promised that he was not going to destroy the earth with flood any longer. Now, you've heard the story, and now you're like, what's the essence of the story? Number one, there are a few lessons to learn from the story. You are not a strange person when you stand alone for what is right. You're not a strange person when you stand alone for what is right. Noah was doing his thing, despite the cruelty in the land. He was still the nice person. He was still the kind person. He still loved God. And I know people will be thinking that, is this guy normal in this age and time? He doesn't cheat. His yes is yes. His no is no. He was straightforward. In that period, in that time when everything was like people were going mad, they were cruel, they were wicked, but he stood firm, he stood strong. He never shivered, he never wavered from who he used to be or who God has asked him to be. So if you are standing alone, don't feel that you are abnormal. Don't feel that, why am I not doing this thing this person is doing? This person is doing this thing and is going scot-free. This person is doing this thing and is getting rich, buying clothes, able to send money to his or family members, buying different cars. Don't feel that way. So today it is easy to follow the crowd. But if you know that what you're doing is right, please stand for the right, especially on this social media era, in friendship, at work, or even in your relationship. So no, sometimes wrong behavior, we have normalized wrong behavior. Now we don't give it names. We give it names and we begin to mock the right people. We begin to mock the right things. Just imagine if you were living in the time of Noah, would you have been convinced that what Noah was doing was right? No. Probably you would have said, everybody's doing it, let me follow the crowd. But Noah never did that. So sometimes doing the right thing will make you stand out. And that's okay. It's okay. It's not that you are abnormal. Just be like Noah. Stay true to yourself. Stay true to your values, even if you stand alone. Even if you're in the midst of your friends, if you're still a virgin, you're in the midst of your friends, and you don't want to, because of your conviction, you don't want to do what they are doing. Stand alone. It doesn't make you naive. It doesn't make you Jew. Stand for what is right. Right is still right, even in many years to come. Even if no one is doing it, right is still right, and wrong is still wrong, even if everybody is doing it. Number two, obedience, even when it doesn't make sense. Just obey, even if it doesn't make sense. When God told Noah, build a boat in the desert, Noah, if you see, will you build? But he didn't disobey God. He didn't question God. He kept building the boat. He built the boat. He built the boat, cut down trees, he began to nail, he began to saw. When he was hungry, he would rest, he would continue. He didn't know where it was going to end, but I don't think God even told him that he was going to reign that long. But he just kept believing that when God says that this is what I should do, he has my best at heart. He has me at heart. He will not give to me what I do not deserve. So he kept on building. He kept on building. He kept on building. So when like God calls you or life calls you to take bold step, to start a business, to leave a toxic relationship, to leave a toxic marriage, an abusive marriage, to get a personal brand, to start raising kids, to forgive someone, or follow a dream that others may laugh at. Girl, guy, don't look back. Just keep building, brick by brick, brick by brick. You will get there. So we say faith, but most of us don't understand what faith is. Faith means taking action before you even see the full picture. It means taking action before you see the full picture. So trust that obedience. Trust your instincts. It might not make sense now, but it's going to make sense later. It might not make sense to you now, but it will make sense later. So build your ark, even when it looks like foolishness. So obedience today can be the key to survival tomorrow. Like for Noah and the ark, his obedience to build the ark was his key to survival when the flood came. So if God has laid something in your heart to do, please stand up, do it. Even if your first attempt might not be the best, but consistently you would become the best. If God has laid in your heart to do something, to start a business, to start a brand, to leave that toxic relationship, to leave that abusive marriage, don't blink. Even when people will say you don't have sense. People will say you are not serious. People will say what is wrong with you. Don't bother. The instruction was given to you and you alone. You see that Noah did not even seek anybody's opinion. He didn't seek anybody's opinion. Once he got the instruction, he ran with it. He didn't come to ask, what will it make sense? Where will I get wood from? He did not ask anybody. First, he just faced his front and he kept on building. He kept on building. He kept on building. He kept on building until it was completed. The third point is prepare before the storm comes. Prepare before the storm comes. Noah did not start building during the rain. He didn't start building the ark when it was flooded. He built during the calm. He started building the ark before the rain. Many of us live our lives today. We eat with our 10 fingers. No plan for the future. But if you wake up tomorrow morning, where belly face, now you face. No plan for the future. And I know you say, what if I don't make it? What if you make it? Have you thought about that? What if you make it? You don't have plans financially. You don't have plans emotionally. You don't have plans spiritually. Even when there are signs, you ignore them. Even in our marriages, you ignore the signs. You don't plan. Even in your health, you ignore it. Our jobs, you don't have plan. Financially, you don't have. If you take away your job today, or you get to your office and you're issued a sack letter, do you have finances that will sustain you for like 3 months before you get something doing? That will sustain you or your family, if you're married and you have kids, you have something saved up somewhere that will sustain you until you get a job or you get something doing. If you retire today, do you have a fallback plan? What is your fallback plan if you are retired today? Is it when you are retired, you begin to think of what business will I do? What will I do? What will I do? Or you just sit back home or pack your things back to the village. So you don't build in the rain, you build when it's calm. Spiritually, are you waiting until there's a spiritual battle before you begin to pray, or you begin to learn how to pray, or before you begin to know the Bible verses, which are words of weapon to the devil, or you wait until it's that time before you begin to pray? How are you preparing spiritually? In your marriages, do you wait until you have children before you begin to plan, or you wait until your wife is 9 months before you begin to plan how you begin to buy baby things, for how to go and deliver your child in the hospital? You wait until he's 9 months, and the baby child has given you 9 months notice. You wait until he's 9 months before you now stand up and start looking for money, hospital bill, start looking for the clothes that you need to provide for your wife, or you, the wife, you start, that's when you start looking for who will borrow you money to pay for hospital bill, to buy clothes for your child or for your children. Even after giving birth to these children, they don't just start going to school. They give like 2 years, you nurture them for like 2 years. Then when it's time to go to school, do you wait until when it's time before you start looking for the money? Your house rent, you wait until when the landlord is on your neck before you begin to look for where you get money for your house rent, or begin to save for your house rent. So you need to plan, not in the rain, but you need to plan when it is calm. Your job, would you wait until they use broom and chase you out of that job before you know that it is time for you to move on? Most of us complain that there's no growth in your profession or in your job. What have you done to improve yourself to attract that growth? You are in a company for 15 years, doing the same thing all around, and you are not thought of, what if tomorrow I'm asked to leave? What would I do? What would I do? You've not thought about it. So you don't build in the flood, you build when it's calm. So don't wait until there's crisis for you to act. Build your act now. Begin to build now. Save money. Build strong relationships. Invest in your mental health. Draw closer to God. It's not until when it has happened you now start calling God. So preparation may look boring today, but it could save your life tomorrow. It may look boring today, but it will save your life tomorrow. Another point is God is patient, but not forever. God is a patient God, but not forever. It took 100 years to build the ark. And during that 100 years, people did not change. So imagine that before God even instructed Noah to build that ark, imagine the years they have been cruel to themselves. Imagine the years they have been filled with wickedness. They've been angry God. Then it now took another 100 years for Noah to build that ark. And they did still change. Even before the door closed, they did not still change. They were still, they were improving in their wickedness. So we often think that we have time to change. Tomorrow is not sure for anybody. You might sleep today and not wake up tomorrow. It's not sure for anybody. So begin to forgive. Begin to fix those things that you can fix. You need to fix the things you can fix. Because most of the times we postpone growth. What we should do today, we postpone it to tomorrow. We postpone growth. We postpone healing. We overthink things. Something that you have just done and but you will sit on it, you will lament on it, you would, before you know, you can't even do it again. So take opportunities. Don't wait. What you can do today, don't wait till tomorrow. Opportunities come only once, but not twice. So what you need to do today, please stand up and do it. Because I know that God gives second chances, but doors don't stay open for a very long time. Take action when you can and while you can. So because according to the Bible, grace is available to all today. Don't wait until it's too late. The next point is protect your inner circle. I love this point so much. Protect your inner circle. And this is why. Noah saved his family by being obedient. Families are under pressure in this time and age. There's divorce, there's emotional disconnection, there's stress, there's societal distractions. Many don't even feel equipped to lead their families any longer. They don't feel equipped to lead their families to God in faith or purpose. What we see most times presently is that people just marry for marrying's sake. And when they want to divorce, it is devastating. The children they are supposed to protect, they expose them to all manner of social vices. They expose them like, they don't protect their inner, drag their family name like small generator. They will drag their family name like small generator indirectly. They don't protect their inner cycle. People that you're supposed to protect, you are not the one exposing them. You're not the one exposing them to things that they should not be exposed to. So you need to protect your inner circle. I don't know how you're going to do it, but you're going to protect your inner circle. That was what Noah did. His family members, all of them, were inside that ark. Are you a husband today? How are you nurturing and protecting your inner circle? How? It's something I heard or I listened to recent, and it was about the story of Job. Just like I'm giving you the story of Noah now. It was just about the story of Job. Remember, Job was the man that God allowed the devil to try, and he lost everything. So when the devil went to God and said that, this is your servant, let me test him small. Let me test him. And before then, Job was a man committed to God. He was praying for his family, praying for his wives. He was a good man, a good husband, and a good father. But when devil went to God and asked God for permission to try Job, guess what God said? God said, do everything you can do, but don't touch him. Do all you can do, but don't touch him. When I listened to that message, I said, I need to go and search this thing. Let me really read this Bible well. God said, do everything you want to do, but don't touch Job. God did not say, don't touch Job's children. God did not say, don't touch Job's wife. He said, anything you want to do, anything. That anything includes his wife, includes his children, includes his businesses, includes his flocks, includes his health. But don't touch Job. And that is where there was a question mark. And when I heard that, I was like, okay, let me listen further. And the guy further said that if the children, If Job had led the children or taught his children how to have a one-on-one relationship with God, they would have been able to fight their own battle. When he said that thing, the thing gave me a knock on my head because I can relate to that story. But let me not just go personal on this story. So as a man, as a woman, are you leading your children to God? Are you teaching them to have a relationship with God? Are you teaching them to be spiritual, to be emotionally matured, to be financially independent, or they are just resting on you? What if you are no longer there tomorrow? How will they cope? How will they be able to survive in this cruel world? How? Are you carrying them along? Or you are trying to cover? You're trying to cover. You're trying to cover. If you're no longer there tomorrow, will they be able to stand? Have you asked yourself that question? You need to protect them. Yes. But most of us will protect them to spoil. We protect them to spoil. Noah protected his family. He took them into the ark. And I guess that when he was building the ark, he was not the only one building the ark. His kids assisted him. They carried wood. They hit nail. They picked nail. They cleaned. They swept. Even when they were inside the ark, when he was doing it, they assisted him to do it. They were not rebellious. Because you can't tell me there's only Noah that built the whole of that ark. His sons assisted him. His wives were cooking. His daughters were cooking. It was a joint venture. And in the process, they were learning. Even when he's tired, they could see that he's tired. He didn't pretend that he's a strong person. I know most of them would have asked, Papa or Daddy, why are you doing this ark? And we explain to them, the King of Kings has asked me to build the ark. Maybe they will not ask, like my daughter will ask, who is the King of Kings? We say, God Almighty. At least introduce them to God. So, will you protect your inner circle and teach them? That is for you to answer. The next lesson is every season has an end. Every season has an end. What has a beginning always has an end. The rain did not last forever. The ark came to rest. Even as it was on the flood, it was floating. It still rested. So if you're going through a hard time, if you're experiencing some kind of heartbreak, difficult time, just know that everything that has a beginning will surely have it. And don't give up yet. See, day will break. Night will come. Night will come. Day will break. So it's not going to last forever. It's easy to feel stuck in hard seasons. It's easy to feel, I am depressed. I'm not happy. It's easy to feel stuck in debt, in heartbreak, in failure, in unemployment, in depression. We wonder, will this storm ever end? When will Wala finish? When will trouble finish? It will finish. No storm lasts forever at all. God sees the ark and he knows exactly where it's going to end. So don't give up yet. When you are in the storm, just remind God, it will end, it's not you. As long as the ark found rest, this particular situation is going to find you rest. So if God brings you into a storm, just know that he's going to take you out of it. He brought Noah into that storm and he took him out of it. So don't give up yet. And the next lesson from this story is be a source of hope in a broken world. Be a source of hope in a broken world. The rainbow was a promise to humanity. Like he will not do that. I feel that after that flood, God was like, I was too harsh on these people. Oh, I wouldn't have done this. So that's why he gave us the rainbow to remind us that he will not destroy the earth with flood any longer. So people today are tired. People are struggling. People are not happy. People are going through a lot. They are tired of injustice. They are tired of war. They are tired of hardship. They are afraid. They have anxiety. They crave hope. Don't be their source of sorrow, because they don't know where to get it. So if you find yourself, please be understandable. Be understanding. Don't be their source of pain. Don't bring them sorrow, because there are people who are going through a lot. You can be a rainbow in their life. You can be that shining stars. You can show them kindness. You can show them wisdom. You can show them integrity. If you don't have to give, if you don't have goodness to give, then don't give negativity. Don't give negative vibes. Just be the light that someone is looking for. Be the light after that person's storm. Be kind. Just show kindness. Be thoughtful. Be wise. Have integrity. You don't need to cheat people in this time, in this era. And here's my final thought. The ark wasn't built in a day. Yeah. The flood wasn't forever. Remember? And Noah wasn't perfect at all. He wasn't. But he was faithful. He knew that he was human. I know that I feel that even when he was doing the ark, at a point in time, we say, which kind of God sent me like this? But he was faithful. He finished it. He got to the finish line. So in a world that often feels like it is sinking, in a world that will feel that nothing good can come out of it, be the one building something good that will float, build character, build kindness, build wisdom, build legacy, build love, build faith. Because see, your obedience today can preserve a whole generation tomorrow. Your obedience today can preserve a whole generation tomorrow. So please don't be that person's worry. Don't be that person's pain. Don't bring people pain in the world of today. Well, this has been a long video. It was not my intention to make it this long, but however, we have come to the end of today's video. But please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Click the subscribe button. Click on the notification, put on your notification button, share this video, like this video. And also, if you have a different perspective about the story of Noah and the ark, please do well to place it in the comment section. I'll be so excited to read a different perspective from you. See you in my next video. I love you.